Trying to move in front. Gives it to Robert into the corner. Perreault works in front. Robert, the shot scores! René Robert!
The French Connection had so much respect because of their playmaking was probably the strongest in the league then. And René was a kind of a leader on that line. He made Gilbert play better and better.
Every time he stepped on the ice, you know, he's going to try to score. He was driven. He brought a lot of energy to that line.
The bigger the game, the bigger the goal. And he had a penchant for that when it mattered, so he was good.
The right point to Robert. He shoots. He scores! Robert from the right point.
Coming to center. Dumps it off the boards in the corner. Robert going after it. He scores! René Robert! And the Sabres win it again in overtime. Off the boards in the corner. Robert!
We are remembering René Robert here on the Instigators. He passed away yesterday at the age of 72, and we welcome onto the show the last living member of the French Connection, Mr. Gilbert Perreault. Hello, Mr. Perreault. How are you today?
I feel pretty good today. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Much better than yesterday.
How does that sound to hear? The last living member of the French Connection after René Robert passed away yesterday?
Well, I talked to René June 6th and on Messenger, and that was the last time we had a talk. And a few days after, probably a week after, somebody called me and told me that René had a major heart attack. So, you know, René, I was so surprised, you know. I mean, René was always kept in shape, you know, very much. And he took care of his what he was eating and everything. So he took care of himself. So, and I was so surprised that he had that. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And they told me he had a major one. And a few days after, they told me that, yesterday, they told me that he was gone. So it's very sad to hear that.
We're joined right now. Gilbert Perreault is joining us here. We're remembering René Robert, who passed away yesterday at the age of 72. They were longtime teammates, longtime friends. What was your relationship like all the time? I mean, the chemistry on the ice was so amazing. Was it always that way off the ice too? I mean, was there head bumping? Did everybody always like each other? I mean, what was your relationship like with not just René, but with Rico as well?
Well, you know, we kept in touch all the time. I mean, we were, after we retired, I mean, we kept in touch. René was in Toronto at that time, and Rick was in Buffalo. And we were able to see each other a few times during every year. And we were participating to different events in Buffalo and Toronto or whatever, Montreal. We were together, and we were very good friends, you know. We kept in touch after we were done, and we were great friends.
Gilbert Perreault joining us here. We're also on the line, Gilbert. I'm sure you know this, but I'm not sure because we're not on Zoom right now. But Craig Rivet and Rob Ray is also on with us as well. Mm-hmm. Riv, you looked like you were about to ask a question, but I wanted to ask a question as well. But go ahead if you're going to ask one.
I was going to ask about, you know, the French Connection. You know, when René came to, you know, the Buffalo Sabres, I think it was in 90, maybe 94, 95.
71 at the end. He came at the end of 71.
And, you know, like when you guys started to play together, you know, that chemistry that was built between all three of you. I'm always captivated when you find lines that have such incredible success. I always like to ask the questions of like, who did what to make the line successful? Obviously, you know, to describe each player, Rick Martin, René Robert, and yourself, what did you guys all bring to a line to make that chemistry?
Well, I was lucky to play with two great goal scorers. I mean, Rick and René were scoring 50, 40 goals a year, and it was an easy game for the middle guy. We knew where we were on the ice. We were practicing all kind of plays, crisscross, whatever, European style, and Rico had such a great shot, and René too. I mean, they always scored a big goal at the right time, and it was. And we were playing on a power play too a lot. René was at the point there, and we had Jim Lawrence with her or Danny Gare, and we were doing amazing thing on the ice. I mean, we were all over the place, and just sometimes not even looking, just make a pass, and he was there, and that's the way we're playing.
Did you have any influence in putting that line together? Well,
you know what? Is Punch and Black had René in Toronto. René was with the Leafs when he was 18 years old, and they sent him to the minor in Rochester and Vancouver, and Joe Lecroix was coaching in Rochester. So Punch and Black knew René very well. And he made an amazing trade there. I mean, 71, they traded Eddie Shack, who was 37 or 38, for René, who was only 23, 22. So that was a big trade. And René got along very well with everybody on the team, and it was just a success right away.
Did he come right to your line, or was he on another line? How did that work?
No, he came right away. I think Imlach and Joe Crozier decided to put Rico and René and I together, and right away we had at the end of 71 we had a great season, great end of the season. I mean, in 72 was from 72 to 79 to 78 it was very good. I mean, we had some great years together.
What can you say about, we're joined right now, Gilbert Perreault is joining us right now to speak about René Robert, who passed away yesterday at the age of 72. What can you say about his personality, his character, his work ethic?
Well, he was a funny guy. René always tried to push him all the time. You know, I knew what kind of player he was because I played against him in junior days in Quebec League. And he was a big star in Three Rivers, and he was an amazing junior player. So I knew what kind of player he was, and he had that great speed and a great shot, and he had that great vision of the game. And it was an easy game for me and for Rico to play with René. I mean, both players like that. I mean, I was very, very lucky to play with these two guys.
Gilbert, from what I know of you guys, you always like to have a lot of fun, and you like to pick on each other a lot. And the one thing I always look forward to all the time, especially when Rico was around, you guys would get René going saying, hey, we were the line. Anybody else could have filled in your hole. Anybody could have played your position. And it would drive him nuts. And he would spend an hour justifying why he was the one that drove the line. But it was so interesting every night because somebody would try to get him going about that all the time.
Well, everybody on the, you know how it is in hockey. Everybody tried to get each other going, and René was an easy one to get going. I mean, you just tried to, I remember one game, we were playing against Cleveland. And the game was 12-4 or something like that. Would be then 12-4, and René didn't have any points. So he was mad after the game because we had about 4 or 5 each, Rico and I. So we told René, so how come you didn't have any points? And he got mad. We were on each other like that. But the next game, all of a sudden, René Robert had about 5 points, though, and we didn't have any. So you see, he tried to get everybody going, and that's how, at the same time, we were having fun, too, just to make sure that they had good temper and everything. So that's how we knew each other very well.
Hey, last time I saw you was at a Sabres alumni golf tournament maybe a year and a half ago, and you were on the show with us. But at every tournament, every time I would see René, there was one thing that I always would say to him that would drive him nuts. And I would say, hey, see how much so-and-so signed for? Do you have any idea how much money you'd be making these days? And he would go off for minutes about, oh my God, do you know I'd be making $8.5 or $9 million? And then somebody like a Don Luce or someone would roll by and say, no. The third guy on the line gets paid the least.
Well, René, he had a good sense of humor. He knew what kind of player he was, and it's too bad. In the 70s, we didn't make that kind of money of today, but he's a funny guy about that, René. He was an amazing guy to play with, and a lot of fun to be around.
Is there one memory of the last times you might have seen him that you care to share with us?
Well, last time it was at the golf tournament 2 years ago, right? Before the COVID-19, yeah. And that was the last time I saw him. And every time I was, he always asked me, he said, come on, Gilbert, sing me a song all the time. Always bugged me with that. So I have to sing him a song all the time, And I used to say to him, René, if I sing one to you, you got to sing one in French to me. So I knew he had one in the head all the time, and he was funny about that, always tried to he was a very easy guy to get along with, and a very good friend.
Would you sing a song to him right now for us?
No singing anymore. I can't sing anymore.
Okay. Fair enough. Let me ask you this. You're living in Quebec. Are you watching these Habs and what they're doing in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's amazing here in Quebec City. People are for the Habs, and they're playing very well. I watched the game last night, and they're playing very well. So, anyway, when there's only 4 teams left, so any one of them, they got a chance to win the cup. So, but here in Quebec City,
I've got a question. When you grew up as a young boy, did you watch the Montreal Canadiens? And obviously you did, but the people from Quebec City, obviously they're New York Nordique fans. Are those people now cheering for the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, I say so. Yeah, I believe they're cheering for them. Well, here in Quebec, Montreal are very popular. Canadians are very popular all over the world, but here in Quebec, it's unbelievable. All my friends here that are cheering for Montreal, And but before, about half of the province, when the Nordiques were there, half of the province was probably cheering for the Nordiques too. So, but now today there's only the Canadian, and it's amazing. Last night they had something like 15,000 people outside the Bell Center and cheering for the Montreal Canadiens. So it's amazing.
Well, Mr. Perreault, you are amazing as well, and we appreciate your time today on short notice and under unfortunate circumstances to take the time to join us today, and we're greatly appreciative of that. So please go on and try to enjoy your day in memory of René.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We will be back.
Right, take care.
Same to you. That was Gilbert Perreault, kind enough to join us here as we remember René Robert, who passed away yesterday, not just a Sabre legend on the ice, but a Sabre legend off the ice.